Hello, and welcome to a Fallout 76 episode. Today I'm moving my base. Again. Yes, I love a challenge, so I'm moving my base from Harper's Ferry a little bit north into this very remote area near, I think it's Dyer Chemical. I came across this place at night. There were super mutants nearby, so I had to wait to come back in daylight so I could see them. This is it. This is all existing. It's 2 railway cars with a little space in between. It's loaded with items that will respawn. 2 exits. I mean, I really like it. Well, let's see if we can drop the camp. Yep. So now I'm just trying to choose which entrance I want to keep and which one I want to block off. As we all know, ghouls and charred ones can all open doors all by themselves, so I don't want anything sneaking up on me. So at first I tried a defensive wall, and then a few of these concrete barriers, and they seem to work really well. And now for securing the main entrance. This turned out to be a days-long, arduous task of fitting in all kinds of blocks and bases and foundations and finding out I can't build on top of any of the cars or the rooftop. You can build up above it, but you can't build directly on top of it. Now you can drop things like a power armor station or workbenches or cook stations, things like that. But you can't lay a foundation floor down. It actually passes through. So I'm just trying to make a little bunker entrance here. But I'm very close to the edge of the green line of my build area. And sometimes it's just trial and error. You've got to see where you can build and where you can't build before you get set on doing something. And here I am trying to line up the center line of the cement foundation with the center line of this area in hopes that everything would line up correctly, and it kind of does. I ended up putting these down, taking them off, scrapping it all, and going and doing something else above, and then coming back to this. But this layout worked out really well. Except for those damn trash cans, I swear to God. I was tripping over them the whole time, and I could hardly wait for everything to respawn so they would go back into their normal spot. What I'm trying to do here is get the edge of the cement foundation to come as close to the edge of the train car as possible, and still have all the pieces snapped to the centerpiece. And also have the height that it can get up above the edge of the train car. So you just have to sometimes tap your Xbox controller just a little bit to get it to fit. There. And if there's an object blocking the way, you've got to start over, remove the object. Like these trash cans ended up getting stuck between the train car and the cement wall, so it was hard. And here I am just demonstrating that no floors, these are all upper floors. So you have your foundation, then your walls, and then your upper floors. You can't just place a floor on top of these foundations. It has to have a wall, and all the floors are upper floors. But I tried anyways. So after much building and trial and error, I finally got the pieces I needed in. Now I'm just walking around looking for any other openings. Yes, I did get stuck in one of these small holes in a suit of power armor, and that was no fun. But if you ever get stuck in a small area that your character can't get out of, just try and go into your apparel, get into your power armor suit, and lots of times that will force your character out of that glitch into the power armor, and then you can just walk away, get back out of it, and then just avoid that area at all costs. So I had just left the area that I called the raft house. That was the cypress tree out in the middle of the water that had all the crashed boats and things. That was a real fun build. Building underwater, yeah, that was fun. So I'm just going to put up a couple of turrets. Now this was the stored objects from the blueprint. So if you can see, I'm under the stored menu, and at the bottom I'll just hit X store. Now I'm not deleting the blueprint itself, it's still there. Even though it says you're deleting the blueprint is still there under your blueprints. It just took apart all your components that you used to build your previous house and lined them all up under the stored category. If you like building, you're going to be dropping a lot of caps on, the barn building set, which is the redwood, and then this is the brick building set, and I'm still on the lookout for the metal building set. It gives you variety when you build, and at different locations you just build to what you feel blends with the environment, which is what I was trying to do here, to make this look like an existing in-game bunker, not a player build. So you can either build with half walls, like this, just a real quick demonstration. Then I realized that the barn building set further up in the menu has the full walls. Now, honest to God, I could not figure out why I'm following the plan that this wall won't fit in. I think the half walls might just be narrower or something, so just be prepared to have some craziness when you're building. So then go further up on the menu, and then you can toggle left and right, get windows, doorways, or just straight walls. So just know that there are variations. They're just not all in the same spot in the menu. So this back opening area was the hardest thing to build in. So eventually I found a solution. It'll be coming up in the video. At first I was getting a little kind of exhausted with building the foundation, that I wanted to get inside and start scrapping some of the stuff I had. The place is dark, especially when you close off this first entrance. So drop a little generator, one of the small wood power connectors. I don't mind having the wires all over the place, they're fine. You press Y to attach to that, and any lights within a certain distance of that power tower will light automatically. You don't have to run wires to each individual light. Because if you put the light on the wall and it doesn't light up, just move it closer to the power connector. And these lights made a huge difference to the living space. I can actually see inside the kitchen. I have just enough space to drop one of those mini stoves. I was needing some copper and ceramic, so I got some of those and they'll respawn. So there's a good selection of little items to scrap. Recipe book that spawns every day, but this is the best part. I do not need to have a water pump outside. I can collect the water here and boil it right at the cook stove. I don't have to run outside, hit collect, gather 20 or 30 things of dirty water, and come back in and boil them. So I was very happy to see that inside the house. The only thing I wished is that the Nuka-Cola machine actually produced a Nuka-Cola every once in a while. Then it would be like a perfect house. These train cars are very, very narrow, so I managed just to get the Tinker Bench in there. Next, you're going to see what it looked like the next morning. It went through a lot of changes after this. I finally managed to get the back wall of the bottom bunker on. And the only reason it worked was I put an upper floor on. And once you have the upper floor in place, anything that overhangs, you can snap the wall to the bottom of the floor. And they float. You can kind of see how the back wall is floating in midair. I can't place it on the ground there, but I can place it attached to the bottom of the upper floor. I know it sounds weird and it floats, but it worked at the time, and I was happy that I could get a back wall in there and make that area more secure. So this is what it was for the second day, and then I went back again after this and did a lot more work. Put a door on just to give it a little bit more security. which we all know doesn't work. And I've pretty much cleaned out the whole place. I think this was physically the next day to see how long it took for all the items to respawn in the space. And I found out there's actually a cap stash in that kid's bedroom area that respawns every day. So you can get, 20 to 100 caps per day out of the cap stash. And yeah, the power pole was bothering me. I had to move it around to get the tinker bench in there. So I'm just going to put it in front of this cement barrier just so it stays out of my way and I can access the sink and the cook stove. I was just checking to see if the character could actually sit and fit in the area. Boil up some water. And next we're going to have a look at the new exterior. I ended up tearing off the upper floor. I purchased a plan for a garage door. Now it can be powered, but I struggled for a good day to try to get that thing to work. It just doesn't work. There's a glitch in it. There's a little pole you can buy that has it's within your normal inventory. It may have been part of the advanced power connection system I purchased from a vendor, but it's basically a power pole with a keypad. And as soon as you put it down, it gives you a 4-digit key code. But the problem is below that keypad is a lever, which anybody can come up and power the door up and down. So it kind of defeats the purpose. Until they fix the glitch, I just can't get it to work. So right now what I'm looking for is the powered doors. And so far everyone is saying the only way you can get powered doors is to find the traveling super mutant salesman Graham and his Charlie the Moo Moo. So I have to find them, and they're all over the map, and it's just random when you can find them. So I managed to drop a set of cement stairs here, and the trash cans are behaving themselves. The gap there is not too big, nothing's going to come down there. I managed to place a few of those green concrete defense barriers, and that's pretty much the entire place. I love it. I'm going to be here for a while, which for me could be a few days or a week, but it respawns everything, including a cap stash, so I'm not leaving anytime soon. I have a lot of bunkers on the east side of the map to explore, like Raleigh's bunker, and complete some other tasks over here. So hope you enjoyed the video, and again, thanks very much for watching, and see you out in the world.